Hello, planet watchers. Welcome to Libra with Mary Jane and me. Hello, Mary Jane.
Hello, everyone. Happy Libra, happy Ingress, happy uh, vernal or autumn
Autumnal,
equinox. Yep,
right? The
yep.
autumn equinox is coming up. We're recording this on, well, September 21st. It's tomorrow is the
It's
equinox.
tomorrow. Yep, yep, it is.
And
And so we're all and getting into the sign that's called balance in French, called Libra. It's the scales. So this is the period where we start thinking about equilibrium, getting our lives smoothed out, equilibrated, our relationships. Libra is the sign that's important for relationships.
oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, Libra, this is where it's happening. Uh, Aries, we saw, is the sign of the singularity of me, this person alone in the universe. Libra is where it comes together, where we have to go find other people and make things work. And so, this is why this notion of equilibrium is extremely important.
Balance, of course, the
Uh,
symbol of Libra is the scales, the balance.
Yes, exactly, and that's what we're looking for through this sign. And it's a vibrant, a cardinal energy. It's a strong energy. We always think of the Aries, going. "Arr." Well, Libra has the same force as Aries, but it's like on a checkerboard. We're playing strategic games. We're playing. It's no longer just I'm going to go get what I want. It's I'm going to make this person want the same thing I want. And so it's the whole game of seduction, the whole game of diplomacy, the whole game of uh, finding the equal trail between two people is happening in Libra. This energy is perfect for that kind of looking around and finding things to do.
Right, right. And can we just address the elephant in the room? It's like you're not
Sure.
home. It's evident
No, I'm not.
background.
This is
Where are you?
probably pretty clear because I'm just out doing my vacation thing in Greece once again. So I'm in a strange house with strange lighting and strange everything.
But you're in
That's why.
Greece. How
Yes,
amazing
I
is
am.
that?
I'm on Naxos, which proves to be a very important island historically. This is where Apollo was born, and this is where so many things that happened on a mythological level were happening here in Naxos. I've got to say that the ground energy, the telluric energy here is astonishing,
Ooh.
absolutely astonishing. It's a whole other vibration that
Hmm.
I've never known before in Greece, actually. It's beautiful mountains, herbs, all the Greek things. But there's something uh, in the earth here that feels different, feels considerably different. And I must say, it's very, very exciting, especially in this period of looking for balance, looking to get into Libra, looking to get into, again, balance with people in our relationships. Interesting place to be. A lot of wars have gone on here. Meanwhile, that's a pretty heavy battleground. But yeah, things have been won and lost, decided, thrown away, chased away, killed.
Mm.
Going on here. Very, very interesting place. And it's an autonomous island. That is to say, they're doing all their own growing plants here, growing crops here,
Okay.
and the Naxos potatoes, apples, pears are very famous all over the island. And
Really?
yeah, just because they have this incredible vibration. Yeah, it's a organic farmer's paradise. Really, it's very exciting.
Oh, fun. So you're getting a lot of yummy food.
Lots of yummy food. Yeah, I attacked my first mackerel that I've ever had in my life. That was absolutely astonishing. So such good fish, and yeah, just a wash in good vibrations. So yeah.
Oh, I want lots of photos on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, you won't get them on Facebook, but I'll get them to you the way I can.
Okay, fantastic. I don't care. I just want pictures. Super. So back to Libra. So you keep mentioning Aries. Is that because, yeah, of course, Libra and Aries are bookends.
The opposite, right? It's the opposite sign to Libra. It's also Aries is also the sign that's ruled by Mars,
Mm,
who's Venus is the ruler, one of the rulers of
Libra.
Libra.
Hmm.
The other ruler is her husband, Saturn, Hephaestus, Saturn. That's an
Okay.
interesting altogether. Any of you mythology freaks out there must absolutely look up the marriage between Aphrodite and Hephaestus because it tells the whole story of what we're trying to accomplish in Libra.
Huh.
Beautiful story. And in parentheses, everything that Aphrodite had going on with Aries, with uh, with Mars. Ah, there you go.
Well, that's fun.
Uh,
I love mythology. I mean, it's like I know this much of it. You know,
yeah,
clearly a lot
it,
more of mythology, but it's a fascinating.
I've always sworn this is the first and best school of psychology that one can imagine.
Yeah,
Everything is there.
there's
Everything
nothing new. There's
that we
nothing
can
new under the
imagine
sun.
has happened.
Right.
Yeah,
Nothing new out
and I
there.
use it a
Just
lot.
like Shakespeare.
Yeah, I use it a lot in my astrology as well. The references
Oh,
are abundant.
oh, of course. Well, we see mythology in the stars and the names of the stars and the personalities that we see in astrology.
Of course, the planets have been assigned. Who knows which is the chicken and which is the egg? Does the planet take its name from our personal myths or that were going on at the time, or were the planets acting out and people finally were seeing what the planets were doing to them at any given time? And so then they said, okay, well, let's name this particular planet Venus because she's a lucky star and it seems to rule over the other stars and has a great deal to do with our love lives and so on. So it's again a chicken and egg kind of a thing. And I, for one, bowed out of that argument a long time ago. I don't know if we're coming from the mythology or if the mythology is coming from us. Honestly do not know.
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. It works. What can I say? I'm a very practical person and it works. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm after.
So before we started recording, you were talking about how Venus is affecting relationships in Libra. What the heck is going on there?
Well, this is maybe one of the good news in the smaller themes. It's one of the really good news for this month. Venus is in a lovely trine relationship with Mars, with her favorite partner, Mars, for all month until the end of October, basically.
Mhm.
No, until mid-October. We'll talk about that. But meanwhile, this is going on very strong and is going to be excellent for uh, personal relationships of all kinds, romantic relationships of all kinds as well. Venus and Mars represent this magnetism that's necessary between people that are going to find each other in this crazy universe. And when they're working well together, there's a symbiosis, there's a synthesis that seems quite automatic. This is when you meet someone, you say, oh my word, I've known this person forever, and just seems like an old brother, an old lover, an old something,
Right.
and okay, let's do it again and make it work this time, that kind of thing. So this is a lovely thing. The moon is helping out a lot too, and a little later, and Neptune as well is giving a hand up. Neptune always lends this sort of star quality to our relationships and especially meetings of people. Neptune can raise a lot of questions as well
Mm.
and create a lot of illusion. But meanwhile, this is Technicolor. It's really a romantic comedy times five, and there are ways to live these things out very well. There are some very good dates for this. Let me bring them out. One is the 30th of September.
Mhm.
One is the weekend of the 4, 5, 6 October. The other weekend, the 10th of October, is very nice, and the 15th of October. These are dates when the moon is acting particularly strongly on this Venus-Mars connection and should help a lot and set off some fireworks. However, now the 18th of October, Venus is going to change signs. She's leaving Scorpio and going into Sagittarius. So this particular party we're talking about will come to an end, temporarily at least. These planets will no longer be hanging out together very closely. But meanwhile, there's a lot of room for growth in there. And yeah, it'll be sort of a testing period to new relationships in any case. See what remains after the sign change.
Sure. Okay. So mixed
So
bag.
anyway, that's a very nice period for all kinds of relationships, but especially I would say especially romantic relationships, let's say, of any color. Meanwhile,
That's good to know.
um, there's another in a matter of the small themes. I always like to kind of talk about the big themes first because we have to bounce off them. But we can stay with these small things. That is to say, things that are more personal to us. Venus, Mars, Mercury, the movements of even Jupiter through there are become more personal to us, and we feel that, and the moon, obviously. And so we feel them on a more day-to-day level and in our relationships. The other movements of the larger planets have much more to do with the background. You know, these are human events all over the world, movements of civilizations, of wars, treaties, things that are happening between governments, between large associations, large organizations. So they're harder to pinpoint or to bring home unless they're talking about our own, again, touching on our personal planet. Example, Pluto is still hovering on the last degree of Capricorn, has not talked itself into going over into Aquarius and changing the program a little bit, is still hovering there and is still creating this nasty argumentative square with Eris and with Chiron, still seeing women's rights movements all over the world that are going on and going on and going on. This seems to be particularly hard this month on the 26th of September, the 3rd of October, the 11th of October, the 17th of October, because the moon is coming in and making things particularly difficult. We see these movements in Africa. Where the movements in Iran are once again very much in the news, at least here in Europe, we're hearing a lot about them. And let's bring it home a little bit. We're going to see some of these misogynistic arguments coming up in the American electoral campaign.
Well, yes, we are a lot.
Yeah. And I think these dates are going to be particularly telling about, oh God, what can happen that hasn't already happened. Somehow this woman comes away as, again, a childless, cat-loving bitch and all the rest. She just can't do anything right. Well, this type of argument is going to get more and more active, I think, through this month anyway. However, at the same time, Pluto is coming into, or still in very nice aspect with Uranus, inviting change, inviting innovation, new ways to approach some of these old arguments, old tired arguments. Pluto is also once again in sextile with Neptune, and this pushes the idea of some new idealism. So perhaps through these old, tired, ridiculous arguments, there's room maybe for a little change, a little growth, a little more realistic approach to women in general. We're going to hear a lot on the 30th of until the 30th of September. These issues will be much in the news as Neptune is opposite Mercury. So that and at the same time that Uranus is in a trine to Mercury. So these arguments are going to come up to the headlines, and we'll be hearing more and more in the news about these particular battles. The moon, with that in mind, is very positive on the 21st today of September and the 26th, the next week. So we should be seeing at the same time, getting a lot of babble. The moon is going to say, yes, but let's think about basic issues. Let's think about getting families together. Let's think about projects and campaign issues that are touching on families and children and real life of people, because that's what the moon wants to talk about.
That's what people
So,
want to talk about.
yes, exactly, exactly, exactly. Um, another yes no element that's going on that seems pretty important though in the big issues is a very nice trine, again, a very nice connection between Saturn and Mars going on from the 18th of September down till the 21st of October. Now, this is going on in the water signs. This is indicative of a time that will allow construction on an emotional level, that is to say, on a relationship level, on, I would even say, people going through psychoanalysis or in-depth therapy of any kind are going to be taking advantage of this, very nice advantage of this growth period. An excellent time to be getting one's emotional balance in order. This could be very, very good. At the same time, there's some very nice dates there. The 25th of September, the 30th of September, the 5th of October are particularly nice with the help of the moon. However, at the same time, these planets, Saturn especially, has a square coming from Jupiter, is in a tense relationship with Venus. So saying that all of this construction doesn't look particularly romantic. This is not a time to be getting married, getting engaged, signing other, I would say, contracts within the family, buying and selling, family property, and so on and so forth. That kind of thing will probably not be ironed out in any near future. Okay. But for the rest, there's definitely a constructive period that looks very active, which is nice.
Yeah, that is helpful.
This square going from Jupiter to Saturn is going on until the end of October, clear through October, and it's not healthy at all for new contracts. Any new binding contracts are not going to be smiled upon during this time. It's a better time to be terminating things that need terminating.
Okay. Okay. What about like people getting new jobs? It doesn't sound like a great period for that.
Hard. I'd say, yeah, it looks better to quit an old job that you can't stand anymore than to sign on anything new in this month, let's say.
I'm thinking
yeah, it doesn't look that easy. Sorry?
I'm thinking of my next door neighbors, a young couple who's going through a divorce and selling their house. Sounds like a good period for the divorce and sounds like a good period for selling the house, but not necessarily a great one for each one of them buying the
right.
house.
So doing anything else very solid.
Right.
No, it doesn't. But an excellent period to be maybe doing the best one can in getting through an amiable divorce,
Right.
How easy is this? I'm not too sure. Um, the, maybe now is the time, a good time to talk about Mars again, because Mars, while he's having a fine time with Venus, they're dancing and having parties and stuff, but Mars all through this month, from the 11th of October until the 12th of November, is going to be exactly opposite Pluto. Now, this is always a time, I say, of physical danger. It can be heavy on a person's chart that is touched by these two planets that are going through the end of Cancer and the end of Capricorn. So look on your charts, see if you're involved in, well, dangerous situations. You'll want to avoid driving in bad weather. You'll want to avoid dangerous sports. You'll want to avoid anything you can avoid that will put you in in a place of danger. Some people are going to be touched upon. You have to see in the chart where these are happening. Some people underneath this aspect will feel danger in crowd situations, for instance.
Mm.
And so you might want to think carefully about where you're spending your football weekends or whatever. Anyway,
Mm.
there's some kind of difficult dates in here with that in mind. I'm looking at the 11th of October, the 16th of October, the 23rd of October, and the 31st of October. That again, with the moon beaming down on this particular aspect, it looks a little more iffy than some other times. This is also a time, well, of escalation in war. Yes, we'll see a lot of that going on. We don't really
Uh,
need.
I'm always going to be asking about that. We've
I
got
know
war on a
this.
couple of fronts.
Yeah, this is rugged. The thing is, winter's coming on. Where they're coming on, where it is coming on, this gets to be a particularly cold and sloppy and icy part of the world to be trying to hold any kind of a war.
Are
And
you talking
so
about Ukraine?
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
Ukraine and now on the western side of Russia.
Mm, mhm.
Not nice to be sloshing through the mud and trying to get anything done except just staying alive. And so I don't think we're going to see any clear up in that situation at all
Good.
anytime soon. Now, what's going on in the Gaza Strip? I don't know, but it's nothing good. I'm saying that in any
Nothing
case
good.
this month.
No, it's yeah, it's a horrible situation.
It really is. They both are, and it does. I don't see any way out in any near future. I'm just holding out for some very slight and very slow changes in attitude that we can see from coming from Uranus and from Neptune. But it's going to take a lot of salesmanship to get people to stop doing what they're doing. Life goes on, and bad habits just seem to go on.
Yeah, they do.
Um, this with the same opposition of Mars to Pluto in mind, I have to talk about bad weather. This is going to be a very, very nasty time for storms, especially tropical storms. Lots of water, mudslides,
Oh my
uh,
goodness.
not necessarily earthquakes, though possibly, but no, but more like just mudslides and pieces of mountains falling away and that kind of thing. This
That's
is going on. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're seeing this in Switzerland. With the climate change, this is an important subject. In fact, it's been important all summer. But I think now we're going to see a lot more movement in these mountains because the permafrost that's holding these mountains together, it's like glue underneath, is melting. The
oh
glaciers are melting. So the rocks are becoming more and more friable. They're more and more pulling apart. And we're seeing left and right all kinds of movements uh, of, of mountains, villages being destroyed, just
my
all kinds of terrible things. And this is going to go on and on, I think all winter. But certainly this with this opposition of Mars to Pluto, we're going to see a lot of that type of activity.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's built into this opposition that won't last forever. This one's ending on the 12th of November. But just saying that it doesn't look particularly happy through this sign of Libra and into Scorpio. We'll talk about that.
Goodness. Okay. It's good to know.
Before going very much farther, and I kind of wanted to get involved first off, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the lunar eclipse that was in the sky on the 17th of
Yeah.
September. Now, I have my own personal take on lunar eclipses. First of all, I see solar eclipse. This is a new moon, after all. This is a conjunction of the moon and the sun, and so automatically represents, as do every new moon. It represents a new start, a new situation, physical alignment of our energies, a sense of purposeful initiative. Something's getting off the ground. Something brand new is happening. Now, again, it's according to the sign it's happening in. It's according to the place in every country's natal chart. Countries have their own birth charts as well, to see where, and as for people, to see how it's going to be acting locally. But it's always this notion of a new situation. A lunar eclipse, to my mind, has always represented a period of an interruption of alignment between our conscious and our unconscious mind on a very personal level. This one is on a very personal level, and probably on a universal level as well, speaking of countries and civilizations and governments and so on. But I feel as though this tension that's involved, this is a full moon situation after all. The sun representing our conscious endeavor, all of our conscious thinking, willpower. The moon, on the other hand, represents our unconscious power as well. But things that are more hidden, things that are more secret, even from ourselves. And so, with a full moon and the Earth coming in between the two, and just sandwiching, cutting in half, virtually dividing these two energies that are looking for each other. But I see this as a serious interruption in our psychological well-being. And I think we can live a lunar eclipse much more nervously, much more undecidedly than we do the solar eclipses.
I know.
That's my personal take.
Yeah, many people I've talked to have felt very unsettled this week with the.
Yeah, I'm sure so. And I've seen this so often. I felt it within myself. Again, let's be clear. The positions of the sun and the moon have to be important in one's chart for it to be personally pertinent. But when it is, it really is. And you just feel as though, this is not working. I'm not being clear with myself. I'm not sure what I want. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. It just creates a battleground for the time that it lasts, certainly. And especially during the signs that are activated in these lunar eclipses. So much said. This is my own personal take. You may quote me. I may or may not ever have a chance to write this down, but for what it's worth. Anyway, it's a new way of looking at these things, and I think it's important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, these things do affect us. We know the moon cycles do affect us. There's the whole idea of lunacy. Emergency rooms and police departments are full on the full moon. Tides are affected by the moon. Why are we not affected by the moon? We are.
We just are. We are for a fact. And yeah, when we Earthlings come in between these processes, we insist on sitting on either side and making a big shadow that totally blocks our unconscious mind. Go
Right.
on. I mean, don't tell me this isn't doing something to your head.
Right, right. And we got the pull of all of the planets, certain major asteroids, certain major comets. It's all it's all affecting us.
Sure, sure it is. And sometimes you just kind of want to hide, but there's no hiding.
The whole
No, but
summer has been rough, I have to say.
it's
Been a
true. It's
challenging
true.
time. And I'm hearing this from so many people in my
Mhm.
orbit. People coming to
It
me.
has
Yeah.
it has been rugged for a lot of
Rough.
people, a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Just tough.
But ever onward.
Ever onward.
Meanwhile, we're looking for balance. We're looking for self-understanding. We're looking for some inner peace in this period and some comprehension
Mm-hmm.
uh, of seeing ourselves in a bigger realm, in a bigger circle. And this helps a lot too to sort of even things out. We can relativize a great many things that are going on in our lives and saying, okay, this too shall pass. Even this lunar eclipse that's breaking me in half, but this too shall pass, and I'll finally be able to get this back together. And that's what allows us human beings, I think, to keep on going.
Oh, absolutely. And here in the United States, of course, we're all tied up in this big election coming up. There's big decisions to be made
Sure.
about, do we remain a democracy? Do we not remain a democracy? Do we want, I'm not going to get into it, but I'm going to be keenly interested in what happens in Scorpio.
Oh, me too. Well, we'll have that. We'll get around to that very soon.
Oh, we
Go back
will.
to war, everyone.
Yeah, I'm really very nervous about this. So just knowing what's coming up.
It's going to be tense, but Scorpio begins now. We always it's always an ongoing process. It's never
Mhm.
just one parenthesis, 1 month that is out there all by itself. Each month is preparing the energy for the next month. The movements of the planets are irreparable,
Yeah,
and
that's
they're
true.
ongoing. So
Right.
so it's always a process of growth, of continuation, of evolution. So it starts now. You folks, anyone who's voting, start thinking about it right now, today.
Several
Get
states have
your Yes, yes, definitely. It's
states have
time to get
opened
your
up
conscious
early
mind
voting.
and your unconscious mind kind of back together again and think carefully about what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So get out there and vote. Many states have started their mail-in
Yep.
process and early voting. So take advantage of that in those
Mm.
states. Please get out there. Make sure you're registered to vote if you're not already. Just make sure,
Yes.
double check
Oh, heaven.
because
Oh, heaven.
things
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
Double
No
check.
one can do it for you. Yeah. No
Oh,
one can do it for you.
so double check, make sure that you're registered and you know what your voting plan is, all of those
Yeah.
things. Thank you so much for breaking down the Libra season. A lot of interesting things coming up. What caught my attention was these mudslides and rock slides and potential for just dangerous situations, but also, the good dates as well, which I wrote all of them down to take full advantage of them. So anybody watch Planet Watch or any astrology program, just know that there are certain dates that are more conducive to having certain conversations, certain dates that are best not to have certain conversations. That's really why we do this, right?
Exactly, exactly. And it's very helpful to have your natal chart in hand, see what's going on in your life, bring this all to you, bring this energy all into your own realm and use it or hide from it or do whatever you need to do,
Would you-
but on time. That's what we're after.
So if somebody does not have their natal chart, what can they do about that?
Well, you can come to me, come to me at
Course.
Radiate Wellness Community, and I'll gladly show you the ropes. We'll walk through your chart, your natal chart first of all, a yearly chart second of all, and get you in the wave.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. I'll put a link in the notes here. Well, thank you so much. And I'll see you again in Scorpio. And I hope you have a
Indeed.
wonderful time in Greece. My gosh, on the
Thank
island.
you. It's a dynamite way to spend my birthday, first of all, and to
Yes,
get involved in Libra energy. It's fantastic here.
that is
You all
fantastic.
have a good time too.
Wonderful.